You are now listening to a 302 Birds podcast experience, proudly powered by Tick Pick, Cutbet, El Diablo Burritos, Nick's Pizza, and Klondike Kate's on the heart of Main Street.
Happy podcast day. Happy Wednesday.
I know that the initial outlook right now is pain. It sucks. We don't want to talk about it. We're sad. I get it. But I was listening to the radio today and they made a good point. Don't cry yet, because in 4 months, I know that this whole 4-month stretch right now until February seems like it's going to be doom and gloom. But if the Eagles come out and win a Super Bowl, the next 4 months we actually might look at as a very beautiful, beautiful time. Tom had a very optimistic take on the Phillies today. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Halloween special of 302 Birds. Shout out to Matt for rocking with that costume. I mean,
smoking that pack, baby. I just got in from herding the herd.
That's Atlanta Braves and Mets fans trying to talk shit when they can't even compete. A lot to talk about. There's been a lot of fan-on-fan violence as well today, with frustrations boiling. But I want to get to our call-in first to talk a little bit about Philly sports. So without further ado, I will hit that intro and then pass it along to Jack.
What do I want when I'm in the state of Delaware? Of course, El Diablo Burritos. Customer service always is serving your food with a smile on their face, asking you how your day is. Their food is phenomenal as well. Their burritos are out of this world, one of the best burritos in town. Their queso is phenomenal. Their burrito bowls are amazing as well. When you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo Burritos and tell them that 302 Birds sent you. God bless. Go Birds.
Thank you to El Diablo Burritos on the heart of Main Street. Tonight we got a guest, being Dominic. He was on here a couple weeks ago. Bring him on in. I don't even know if he's in here yet. Awkward. Yeah. There we go, Dominic. How you doing tonight, bud?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. Got any questions for us that you want to bring up to us about Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, anything?
Yeah, I got a question about the Phillies. What do you think they should do in the free agent market this year?
I'll hit on like one thing, and then Tom and Paul can take it over. But I think we need to get rid of Craig Kimbrell, because he, on the mound when the games mattered the most in this NLCS, my bad. He just was very costly, walked a lot of batters, and I mean, game 3 or 4 was very costly for us, and kind of, flattened the sails in our ship, cruising through the postseason. But I think get rid of Kimbrell. I really do think, granted, Kimbrell didn't play the greatest. Was it game 5? I'm sorry, game 6. But I still say we bring him back. I mean, he wasn't playing well in the beginning of the season, but the postseason he kind of cleaned up very very nicely. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll kind of jump right on from that. I think the big move the Phillies got to make is, I think you got to bring Hoskins back. Bringing Hoskins back is going to allow Bryce Harper to go back out to the outfield. It's going to allow us to take Rojas out of the lineup, move Marsh back to center, and put Castellanos back over in right field or left field, wherever he's going to be playing. And also just putting Hoskins back in that lineup, I mean, that adds someone who's hitting consistently 100 RBIs a year, 30-plus home runs. I mean, we missed that in this postseason. We missed kind of his leadership. We missed his consistency at the plate. And Rojas was not the answer, man. It was not the answer. And I get his defense was good, but his batting was atrocious. And we'll get more into that game after this. But I definitely think the big move is re-signing Hoskins, at least to a 1-year deal, to allow Harper to get back in the outfield.
Yeah. Definitely Kimbrell's got to go. You need another bullpen arm and you need another starting pitcher, which I don't think they're gonna address starting pitching via what should you call it? Via free agency. I think they're gonna bring up Mick Abel instead. What's his name? Andrew Painter's still not going to be available come beginning of the season anyway. Probably really won't be available till at least May. And if we're being honest, they're not gonna have anyone. He's really probably not going to make our major league roster until September, maybe August, maybe July if we're being optimistic. But he's got to be able to find it again in the minors after going through surgery and all that. So that being said, I think Mick Abel's going to be their guy that they have as a starter. I really don't know what you do with Taijuan Walker. He's kind of like you paid a lot of money, so he's going to be in the rotation. He's kind of a hot mess express. I think you'll get Nola back. Nola kind of like could figure it out for the. Yeah, I know he sucked second start in the NLCS, but he could figure it out. So I think he'll be back. I'm not so sure. I think if Hoskins wants to sign for cheap, which he had a good season last year, and then having no season this year, coming off of a torn ACL, it's tough to say that they sign him if his agent decides to be a holdout and says, I want a lot of money. I think the Phillies go, not worth it to us. Coming off of an injury season, a major injury season at that. So I think 2 targets, definitely the bullpen, or it's definitely the bullpen. And I think that's really it when it comes to free agency. You just got to fill up the bullpen because you have guys in the minors. You have Christopher Sanchez who can provide that 6th arm if you need it. But I think it's just really all bullpen help.
See, I don't necessarily think Christopher Sanchez. I think he solidified himself as a starter in this rotation. I mean, if you look at his numbers from when he was starting, I mean, he was low 3s. He was consistent as all hell. I mean, my God, every single time he came out there, like we knew that he was going to get 5, 6 strikeouts, last 5 or 6 innings, and keep the game close. And you can't say that about Taijuan or, I mean. When Ranger was out there in the regular season, I know he was coming back from injuries, but he wasn't consistent. But I mean, Christopher Sanchez really did a good job, and like I'm very confident with this rotation going into next season, because we're not going to need to go out and sign that big name pitcher, because I do feel like we have the guys to put together a top 5 rotation in the MLB without going to get one of those big guys.
I agree with you, Matt. However, I think there's always that phrase, money talks and bullshit walks. I think it's going to be one of those situations where money talks and you have to keep Taijuan in the starting rotation. Now, let's say they decide, Mick Abel, we want him to stay another year in the minors or maybe start next season in the minors and eventually maybe bring him up mid-season as a 6th starter once arms start, they kind of start going dead mid-season for a little bit there, and you need to give some guys some rest. I could see that too, but you're right. He has solidified a spot and has earned a spot. I think because of how the contracts are structured and how much they're paying Taijuan, he gets a spot. They love Mick Abel in the minors. They think he'll be like the next DeGrom. So they want him in the starting rotation, and then Sanchez gets bumped to the bullpen probably.
That's if you keep Nola.
Yes.
If you keep Nola.
Yes.
And after the postseason that he had, and I mean the month of September that he had, he's going to want big money. I mean, we know that.
Yeah.
It's are the Phillies going to pay it? That's
what is too much money to pay Nola?
Oh God. I mean, I think you don't give him larger than a 3-year deal.
Yeah. He's getting older. I agree.
I don't know, Dom. Do you have any thoughts on this? I don't know.
I'd say about a 2 or 3 year deal is good, about 10 to 15 per year.
Yeah, that might be a little high for me.
And we'll see if, depending on what he asked for, but I mean, I think next year he'll start out fine because the biggest issue this year was Aaron Nola not liking the pitch clock, and now we're one season down with the pitch clock, so maybe that can change how he approaches his pitches. And like Matt said last show, like he changed his stance, so he's more confident on the mound now. But I definitely, I think it's worth bringing him back. It's a matter of like how much he's asking. So, Dominic, you got anything else for us?
That's all for me.
Awesome. Appreciate you coming on the show, and I guess hopefully you're okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Ash, what are you gonna say?
No, you guys are good.
Moving on up to the funeral of this podcast.
Yeah, I might as well.
Time for Phillies talk with Bob Tommy. Finger stitch.
Today was a rough day. I definitely have gone from immediate anger. I started anger around the 7th inning, probably last night. Probably more like the 5th inning when they went down, probably around the 5th inning after Rojas struck out with the bases loaded. That's probably when I started the anger. Then I went to full-on depression, and we've kind of stayed in full-on depression and have started to see the light at the end of the tunnel probably within the last 2 to 3 hours.
It's over.
This one hurt. This was worse than the Kawhi shot, worse than Ben Simmons forgetting to dunk, worse than I was too young to really fully comprehend 03, the home game at the Vet, or the Bucks game at the Vet, I should say. I was too young to understand the home game. So in terms of my lifetime, this was definitely by far, no doubt about it, the worst game, most heartbreaking and crushing, soul-crushing game in Philadelphia sports history in my lifetime, at least. The Super Bowl this year wasn't even close to being as heartbreaking. They kind of looked sloppy all game, so you kind of got that feel going into it. Both teams looked sloppy. This was being up 2-0, setting records, night in, night out, just tore you apart. Being up 1-0 in game 3 and then losing in the 9th, then being up 5-3 in game 4, losing in the 9th again, then finally winning game 5, then showing absolute no signs of life in game 6, and then thinking, God, they can't do it again in game 7. They looked dead in the water, game 7 again. Like, this was the worst game I've ever seen from a Philadelphia sports team in my lifetime. Hands down, bar none, not even close.
Okay, I mean, I know you're a diehard Phillies fan. I have to disagree with you because, granted, I could see if this was a World Series loss and we went up 2-0 and then we lost the last 2 games.
But they'd be playing the Rangers. They would be playing the Rangers.
Yeah, but we were on the mountaintop. It was the Kelsey Bowl last year, and we had everything written in the stars for the Eagles, and this was the fucking mountaintop. Just by 3 points or whatever it was, we lost. I think that was more heartbreaking. I was down bad for at least a week and a half. This was, granted, it was a tough loss, but this was the NLCS. It wasn't like a big World Series game. Yes, it was a storybook season for the Phillies with Trey Turner, standing ovation. But I have to disagree with you. This is the worst Philly sports loss. So
I have to disagree with you, Jack Jordan, because here's the thing. Yes, the Super Bowl was, it was high energy, kind of back and forth, just kind of high powered. What really sucks about this Phillies loss is the fact that they completely lost it on their own. There wasn't, if we got outmatched by the Diamondbacks, like, if they were a better team and, we put up a fight until game 7 and it just didn't go our way, that would be like, okay, like we lost, like they're the better team. We got fucking destroyed and embarrassed by a team that they didn't even have any authority to even be in that situation. It was poor management. It was our bullpen sucking. It was going 7 for 46 or something with runners in scoring position in the last 3 games. It was just garbage. Everything about it all was just garbage. And I think what sucks more about being a baseball fan is you dedicate your entire summer to this shit. All 162 games for it to go down like that. And it's just like, fuck the Phillies. But now I'm in the state where it's like, you know what? Like, we're going to be okay. Our team's going to be okay. They're built for the next 5 years. And it was like, I don't know. I think the reason that this stung so much is because we are the reason that we lost that game, not because the other team was better than us. We just kicked ourselves in the foot because all anyone ever wanted to do was hit home runs. And it was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
But can I be honest?
Yes, go ahead.
Most Philadelphia sports teams, that's the reason why we lose. It's stupid mistakes, and we are shooting ourselves in the foot, whether it's in football with penalties. I mean, basketball's a little bit of a different story, but it's mostly us shooting ourselves in the foot. We had every reason, and we had all the momentum to win this series. And I told my parents when we got to the end of game 5, I said, if this goes to game 7, we're done. We're done. If we get to game 7, we're done.
As a Philadelphia sports fan base, we've lost now 7 straight game 7s.
That's ridiculous.
Game 7 is the 2 worst words in Philadelphia sports. Game 7 is our kryptonite. Game
Dallas
7
Cowboys, I think, is a lot worse.
No, Dom might be on something with that.
You're right.
He might be dead ass on
The
something.
Flyers have lost 2 in a row. The Sixers have lost 4 in a row. Oh, yeah. What is the point of getting to game 7 when you know you're going to get your shit kicked in? What is the point?
Just say it's best out of 6. You're right, in Philly.
Like, if it goes to a game 7, don't buy the tickets. Don't turn on the game. You know you're going to lose. What is the point?
Also, this podcast, the group chat had decided by like halfway through the second inning that we were done. So,
yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
I didn't even need to watch it.
The biggest.
The one thing I want to say too. Go ahead, Jack. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Colin. Go ahead.
The one thing I want to say before we move on, like you guys said, there's nobody to blame but ourselves, but the team. I mean, this isn't like I had some people texting us today. Craig Kimbrell, Rob Thompson. There's Castellanos, Harper, Turner. Not showing up, being fucking 2 for 17 with runners in scoring position the last 2 games. Harp, Trey, Casty combined 0 for 27 in the last 2 games. I mean, I had somebody reaching out to me today saying that, like, trying to hit me with the superstitious card. One of my buddies saying, Dalton, this is on you. This is because you're AI post. This is not on me. I am a speck in the dust. There's no superstition with this one. This one isn't like some of those games where it was one thing that could have changed. This was like not one person. This was a problem as a team as a whole. And even me as an amateur baseball fan could see that. And, the good news is it's fixable, but I get what Tom's saying too. I mean, I just want to kind of come to his defense, and I usually don't, but this one hurts so much because this was a walk in the park for the World Series ring, I think is what Tom is trying to say. If the Phillies match up against the Rangers, this is a guaranteed ring. So it's almost like if you're in the NFC Championship and you lose, but you have an opportunity to square up against the fucking, banged up Jets or something. So I think that that's where part of the frustration comes from. And I do get that. But I just want to say that this is not the time for fan-on-fan violence.
Agreed.
Same game with each other. It just
We
makes
need this.
worse
This
as
is
a
the
fan
one
base.
time we need to have our kumbaya as fans together and just console one another, because it sucked for all of us. Some of us are in different stages of the stages of grief. Some of us are still pissed off. Some of us have come to full acceptance. But all of us are in different stages. Some of us are just beginning still. Some of us not so much. However, that being said, this, as Matt was starting to say earlier, this team is pretty well set up. You have a core base for at least another year or two to come. You had they provided us with a lot of good memories, a lot of good stuff. We had all those memories, the swing of his life, the Rojas catch this year. There were a lot of good things, and we had a lot of fun with this team. This team provided some great and joyous moments for us that we'll be looking at for years and years to come.
Yeah, there's one last thing I want to say, and then I'll give it to you, Jack, and then we can move on the show. I think Rob Thompson needs to look at himself in the mirror and just kind of understand that, you got to switch the lineup around. I think that's what the Diamondbacks did really well. We weren't performing with the lineup that he was giving us. Alec Bohm was, as much as I like Alec Bohm and how much he's grown in the past year, he's not your four hitter. You got to put someone more experienced in that role. You got to figure out what to do with Rojas. And what drove me in nuts last night was he finally decided to pinch hit Rojas in the 7th fucking inning of Game 7. Why didn't you do that in the 4th inning when we had bases loaded? There was just a lot of managerial stuff where I was like, what are you doing? And I just think that he needs to learn from the mistakes that he made this postseason, because as much as I want to blame our pitching and Kimbrel and shit, Kimbrel should have never even put in those situations by Rob Thompson knowing that he doesn't have it anymore. He's washed. He's not a closer anymore. So it's just like I blame Rob most of all, because we shouldn't have even been in Game 7. We should have been packing our bags Game 4 down in Arizona. So I put a lot of it on Rob.
Okay, I do too, but at the same time, this last thing is our bats have to be connecting, and we didn't see that. Alec Bohm, who had a shaky postseason, went off last night. 2 hits, had a home run, solo home run. We have probably the best player, one of the best players in the MLB in Bryce Harper. And it just, you can say they're trying to pitch around and trying to walk him. But some of these, he had 3 shots last night that could have went out. So you can't put all the onus on Rob Thompson. You have to really think about the bats, how they went cold after Game 5 or Game 5. So moving on up, this is very frustrating as being a Philly fan. But on the bright side, we got the Flyers. We're flying hot.
Could I say one thing real quick? Sorry.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say this. I was thinking about it today, and hear me out on this. I don't know if you'll like this, Tom. A little NFL analogy. 2021, the Chiefs lose in the Super Bowl to the Bucs. 2022, the Chiefs went to the AFC Championship and lost to the Bengals. 2023, I won't even say what happened. We can move on to the next segment now. You guys get the gist.
Yeah, but that's not Philly luck. That doesn't. Next year, we're going to lose in the NLDS. That's how it would work for the Phillies.
I already bought my World Series tickets. Thanks
for riding with me, Matt. Anyway, Jack, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm going on next topic. Is it talking about the Flyers? You're talking about the Eagles right now. I don't fucking know. That Flyers. There we go. I was right. Hey, boys and girl, Flyers are hot right now. Beginning of the season. This happened last season. But, hey, there's some hope. We went to one game, was it last week, and they played really well against the Oilers. So I'm excited to see this young team. Granted, they probably won't make it to the playoffs, but it's nice to have some kind of hope in the Flyers and also in the Eagles right now. I'm excited to see what this team can do. like you said, first place in the division right now. Let's see how much that can last. But
Third
the
place.
team's looking good.
Yeah, I think they dropped today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. False advertising.
At the timing of at the making of the graphic, they were in first place.
Yeah.
There you go. They lost around. The Phillies lost at 11:30. The Flyers then lost around 1:30 last night.
Jesus Christ, that's great. That's awesome.
That's how that happened, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't have like the stats on the Flyers, but all I can say is from what I've seen in person, they look like a really good team this year. And my hope was kind of all lost, but we'll see what they can do. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
The Flyers put up a fight last night against the best team in the NHL with the Las Vegas Knights.
They did.
I didn't watch it. I was downing myself in wine, watching I Think You Should Leave, trying to cheer myself up.
This guy drinks. Sick. This guy drinks.
Leave me alone, Jack. No, but I mean, I was following the game and they put up a fight. They lost 3-2, and that's with a young team like they have. I just feel like there's a different energy that they're kind of giving off this year. Like I just feel like they're like, you know what, like we're gonna prove all these haters wrong. Yeah, I mean that's all I have to say on the Flyers. But I'm excited to start getting into watching them now that I don't have baseball to watch every night.
Yeah, I did watch them last night till 1:30 because I stayed up till like 2 thinking, how in the world did the Phillies F this up? Sorry, that's going to be our last discussion of the Phillies. I swear I'm done.
No,
it's not. I'm such a liar, aren't I?
Yeah.
But I did watch them, and it was kind of like, I actually did think, okay, they might actually do this. And then around the 10-minute mark in the third period, everything fell apart for them. Almost essentially an exact here it is, Dutch. Here's the next one. And metaphor to the Phillies NLCS series. We should start a counter on this, Dutch. But they've been a mildly nice surprise. I thought that they had no shot at even getting a winning streak going, and they, I think, won their first 3, if I'm not mistaken, to start this season. So they have 5 wins, or I think they have 4 wins, something like that. At this point in the season, it's not terrible for where they're at. They're 3rd place in the league, a point behind first place. If they had lost last night in overtime, they'd still be tied for first place. So, it's not a terrible start at all. I just hope they can keep this going. Maybe they can be like, the NHL is almost like the MLB, where like you can go from worst to first pretty easily. It's just a matter of how things bounce and how things go for you throughout the season. So maybe they can be the next miracle story of going from worst to first.
This team has been like sort of like a diamond in the rough for Philadelphia sports fans in what's going to be a dark time, like Tom said. And I think that is a beautiful point that you highlighted. You can go from worst to first. Like hockey's sort of like a heart sport. You know what I mean? The Flyers have a lot of heart. I mean, I've been watching a lot of Cam Atkinson, Owen Tippett, and Joel Farabee, if I'm saying that correctly.
You are?
Those guys have been having a really, really solid season so far for the Flyers. Obviously, last night, blowing a 2-goal lead in the third doesn't help, but they're young. I mean, and this team literally, that's the difference between the Phillies and the Flyers. The Flyers have 0 expectations. And as you guys know, in Philadelphia, when a team has 0 expectations, it sort of allows a team, I think, to perform at a different level, almost an unrealistic level, which actually is a perfect bridge into our next topic, which I think that now that the Philadelphia 76ers have absolutely no expectations, I bet you, watch, they are going to ball out and shock the world. This team has their home opener tomorrow against the Bucks, stacked up against them. Giannis.
It's at the
Bucks.
Yeah.
Dame,
Yeah, it's in Milwaukee.
I mean, it's just they're not gonna win, most likely. But watch, like I said, it's times when Philadelphia sports teams shouldn't perform and have zero expectations that they just exceed and shock the world. I do think that Nick Nurse is the best thing that's happened to this team in the past decade. And I think that we will see that. That'll be evident tomorrow night. It'll be seen throughout the season. But there's still a lot of work to do. They need to get the Harden situation under control. He hasn't practiced since October 15th, and he isn't seeming to want to play anytime soon. So that's holding Embiid back. That's holding the organization back. And I'm under the mindset of trade everyone except for Embiid and Maxey at this point.
So actually, Harden showed up to practice today on Wednesday. He will not play against the Bucks or the Raptors, I think. His first game back will be the home opener on Sunday. So we'll see what happens. I mean, the Bucks are a tough team. They're going to be good this year. And I mean, I'm not sure. Hey, could Nick Nurse change the season around? I don't know. But like I said last week, our expectations, even though we don't have expectations, are we're going to make it to the second round of playoffs and lose. So that's what's going to happen. So you can't really tell me differently. James Harden's we don't need this nonsense in the locker room. I don't give two shits about James Harden at all. Get out of my city. You obviously don't want to be here. Like you don't seem committed to the team. So I just, as of right now, like I said last week, I am just a frustrated individual Sixers fan, and I hope the worst for the season because
my God,
they've upsetted all of the fans in the past 5 years, and I'm just sick and tired of it. Like my expectations, like I said last season, were so high, and then they lose again. So I don't care what happens to the Sixers this year. Go Birds, and that's all I got to say. Drop Mike.
I think there's a Fox 29 reporter. Her name's Devin Caney. I think she said it best today on Twitter. She asked her whole audience, even though the Phillies are over, can we continue to ignore James Harden? And that's going to be the last mention of James Harden I make tonight because, as Jack said, he clearly doesn't care about us. So going into this season, we have to think about how Maxey can improve, how Joel Embiid can do, how Tobias Harris, who is a super nice human being. I ran into him at this place called Tank and Libby's in Delco on Sunday. Hey, he was super nice to everyone. And but anyway, that's besides the point. Had nothing to do with how the Sixers season's going to go. Oh, but he is a super nice guy at least. If that makes anyone feel better. And I think at some point, obviously we didn't make a big trade for someone who could like really shoot in the offseason. Like who was the one big guy we got in the offseason? I forget his name.
Mo Bamba?
No.
Mo Bamba, what the fuck? No, Kelly Oubre.
That's it. Thank
Mo Bamba.
This is why we have Matt.
Matt big
is on
signing, and I thought he meant tall. So I was like, oh.
I'm sorry.
I thought too.
No, Matt was on the same page as me. Thank you, Matt. But other than Kelly Oubre, like you still need a sharpshooter. Every team that like goes on to win it, whether it's a team like the Heat or it's the Warriors or whoever, fill in the blank, has at least one sharpshooter who can also be a starter. And our best year to win it so far in this whole process was when we had JJ Redick, I think. When we had a sharpshooter who could also be a starter. So I think at some point, if this team ever wants to compete, you got to make a midseason trade to go get a sharpshooter who can also be a starter.
Seth Curry.
Yep.
Please bring Seth Curry back. Ash, you got anything to say?
No, I agree with you guys. I'll believe it when I see it with this team.
Matt?
I got one thing to say. Well, I probably have multiple things to say, but James Harden is, like you guys said, he's practicing, but I think it's the funniest shit ever that he shows up wanting to play in the game, and then the Sixers are like, "Nah, you're not playing."
Nope.
It's kind of funny. But I do think you're right. I think, low expectations are going to drive this team, and there's trade rumors going around. The Knicks contacted the Sixers saying they'll give them 3 first-rounders plus like 5 of their starters for Joel Embiid, which is absurd. I mean, I'm like, okay, but like, I think that's gonna fire him up, man. I do, and I think Nick Nurse is gonna play him how he needs to be played to be successful in the NBA. And I'm just super excited for it. Go Sixers! I'm gonna be definitely watching tomorrow. And we'll talk about, how they're doing their opening week next week on the show.
All right, now talking about something that we all enjoy talking about. Sixers. So fuck the Sixers. Is how about these birds and their Kelly Green and the new signing we just picked up? Oh my god. Week 7 takeaway. You heard it here. I think I said on the show at like 9:50 last week that Jalen Hurts is gonna pop off. And what happened? 275 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. He balled the fuck out. And this team looked like a well-oiled machine. We were kicking the Dolphins' ass, making them look like they weren't any competition to us at all. And I was just beyond happy on how I saw these birds play on Sunday. And it was nice seeing Julio Jones get a pass. Like AJ Brown popped off yet again. Like this team wants it, and they needed that little like bump in the road against the Jets to turn the season around. And sure enough, they did that against the Dolphins, who were a tough team. Granted, they were a little injured, their offensive line, their secondary, but we took it to them, and we looked goddamn beautiful in the Kelly Greens.
Yes.
So beautiful. Tom even said, wow, this is fucking sexy in our group chat. Yes.
I did.
Yes, he did.
I have nothing else to say about week 7 takeaways, but this team is about it. It's about it.
But Jack, I can tell you had your doubts midday because you had switched allegiances and wore the purple and black, the Baltimore Ravens. I knew he moved to Maryland for a reason. He is the Benedict Arnold of this show and a traitor.
Hey.
Asshole.
You gotta make your girlfriend happy.
I just had to put it out there. I'm sorry.
Tom is never gonna leave the end of it.
That speech was beautiful, Jack. I agree the uniforms were sexy. I love you, and I had to give you a hard time. I just had to. I'm
sorry. One thing too.
I don't give a fuck.
Like
it was
Jack said, this was the first time that this team felt like a 6-1 team all season. Like, this was the first time that I was like, holy shit, like, this is the way that we're supposed to play football. AJ Brown now, 5 consecutive games with 125 plus yards, ties Calvin Johnson's record with a chance to break it next week. We'll get into that a little bit in our next segment. But I mean, he looked fantastic in this game. And that helped bring Jalen Hurts alive. That helped Jalen Hurts' confidence. I think when they base this offense around AJ Brown, you see games like these because all the other things start to fall into place is what I saw at the game. And shout out to Sean Desai, man. He had a beautifully coached game, I want to say. The Miami Dolphins have been a fantastic team offensively all season. They haven't really played the best teams, but despite it, they've, balled out offensively. And I think that he did a great job coaching up this Eagles defense. This game was decided at halftime. It was 21-10, and it felt that way. And when the Eagles came out in the second half, they had that same energy. And I really think that all starts with him. So
And
that's what I have to say about that.
One thing I gotta say is what happened that game. I think I saw was they played 4 quarters of good football. I mean, we had that one turnover, was in the fourth quarter, or third quarter, pick 6. But other than that, we didn't really have that many penalties at all. Like we played a good.
Didn't have any penalties.
Yeah, and then it goes to show, Sirianni's ballsy as fuck. He went for the tush push. I'm sorry, the brotherly shove on 4th and 1 in the almost the red zone, and we pushed and got it. So it goes to show how much better we are doing the brotherly shove compared to other teams, and how it's unstoppable. And we saw that, and it just brought me joy to see my team play as well as they did. And you guys said I was crazy for saying that it was going to put up a lot of points. And sure enough, they put up 31 points. So we needed to put up a lot of points to win that game. And sure as hell we did. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah, let me say, Dalt, you hit it right on the head, man. This was the first weekend where I felt confident in the Eagles. Like I was like, God damn, we just did that. We put up a good game. I mean, Brian Johnson, man, gotta give him some props. I mean, after, bounce back after the Jets, we were 4 for 6 in the red zone. That's fantastic. And that's been our biggest critique, is that we couldn't finish in the red zone. And we got 4 touchdowns in that game in the red zone, which is just amazing. We gotta keep that up. Sean Desai is amazing. I like how aggressive he is on defense. Eli Ricks, guys, we haven't talked about him yet. He shut down Tyreek Hill, man.
Oh my
God. He played 19 snaps on Tyreek Hill, was targeted 3 times, no catches, no yards, 1 pass deflection. Amazing. So I got to give props to, how they game planned against the Dolphins, and let's hope they do it again for the Commanders this weekend.
Yeah, this was just an exciting week. There's magic that happened when those Kelly Greens went on, and that's what I was hoping for. The energy of the guys was electric. The fact that Goddard came out right away and was dominating, and it was just something that we had been waiting to see. Like somebody said, they looked like a 6-1 team for the first time this season. The red zone was significantly better. Everything, they just gelled. And honestly, this is a perfect game to do it, because we are getting into a gauntlet of several difficult games that we'll be talking about later. But this was a must win, and we won it in the best way that we could.
Are the turnovers concerning you guys?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we won 31-17, but that's 2 turnovers. Jalen Hurts' interception was thrown right to the defender. Yes, it got deflected and intercepted, but he threw it right at the guy. And at this point in the season last year, I think he had 2 turnovers total, and now he's up to like somewhere 8 or 9, including fumbles. So it's like it's. Well, I think he has 8 interceptions, and I think he also has fumbles that we've lost. So it's concerning to the sense that we haven't, he hasn't fixed it yet. And yes, we're winning games. We're 6-1. That's great, but the turnovers are a concern to me, and I think that needs to be addressed as soon as possible. But I also I can't remember if this is a segment, but he has knee issues right now, and I think that's pretty concerning.
Yeah.
He was wearing a brace.
They interviewed him after the game. He's like, "Don't worry about it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I'm not too worried about that." And from all the radio shows I heard of, they're not worried either. But yeah, I mean, yes, the turnovers are concerning for sure. But it's a way of how we bounce back from the turnovers, and I think we do a good job at that. I'm not sure if we can stop it, if it's something on the line. I know early on in the season, without Lane Johnson, we had, and it's crazy to see like that, how much of a hole we have with Samalu not being here anymore, and how much of an asset he was to the team. And now we have Dickerson or whatever, and that pressure's coming from that side where Samalu was. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not too worried. If these turnovers turn into like issues and how we lose the game, then that's concerning. But like we saw against the Jets game, but it's just like I said, it's a matter of how we bounce back from them and keep on going.
I think we have very good defense that's masking a lot of our problems right now. Like, I think this week, 2 weeks ago, were both games we lose this year if we had Jonathan Gannon at the helm, because he can't make he couldn't make an adjustment to save his life. Look at him now. He has great first halves with the Arizona Cardinals, and then they lose every game somehow, some way in the second half because he can't make an adjustment. That being said, if we had Sean Desai in the Super Bowl, not only would we have won, we would have won like 35-10, probably, with Sean Desai. He's like that dominant of a force. But anyway, the point being, and staying on topic with the turnovers, is Jalen needs to figure it out, because otherwise he's starting to give off Carson Wentz vibes. Carson Wentz went to the Super Bowl, came back next season, and started the turnover parade. Yeah, the offense was still pretty dynamic, still had a good, really insane defense right after the Super Bowl year, but then the year after that, the whole team fell apart. And the year after that fell apart even more. So, that being said, like, it's a concern of mine. Like, I don't want him to regress, but I also think part of it is the offense in which he's running. Like, Shane Steichen was very good at spreading the ball and spreading and giving very wide zones within the field. The way Brian Johnson does it, everything's bunched, everything's kind of a power formation. Nothing's like a speed game where we're trying to create space in the open field. So Jalen has even tighter windows to throw in this newfound offense with Brian Johnson. I think a lot of it falls on Brian Johnson for not setting up his players for the best success. But a lot of it is Jalen's got to have the instincts. He's holding on to that ball. I can clock how long he's holding on to the ball with the damn calendar. He's holding on to it for so damn long, and not just a damn stopwatch. So part of it's Jalen's got to get the ball out. Part of it's Brian Johnson needs to set up his guys for success.
Yeah. And I haven't really seen too much RPO like we ran heavily last season, or any read options. And that was our bread and butter last season.
And now we just run quarterback draws every 2 to 3 plays.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Oh, that is a cop. So, talking about Jalen Hurts, this knee injury, put on a brace at halftime. I don't think, and like it would have been an issue if, once he put that brace on, he was not playing as well as he was in the first half, but I didn't really see him struggle. He had that one pick six, but other than that, he was still mobile. I'm not too concerned about it.
So yeah, I want to say this. Go ahead. Sorry, Matt.
Oh, I was just going to say, after the game, they're like, you know what? Like, we'll let him answer the questions. And he was very short to answer the questions. And then this week, he comes out saying he's day-to-day. Can't foresee anything happening this weekend, but, like, we're going to take it day-to-day. I don't know. I think it's just a lot of up in the air. And you know how this team is with their injuries, man. They don't tell us. They don't tell us what's going on. And that's the one thing I'm concerned about. I think it could be a little bit more serious than people are letting on. But, fingers crossed. I'm just hoping it doesn't get worse.
To be honest, I'm going to say that a lot of his performance, I'm not saying that like for sure he's super injured or anything, but they probably gave him pain meds plus a combination of adrenaline. Adrenaline is a heck of a medicine. I don't think he was feeling anything during that at all, to be completely honest with you. I don't think he was. I was not concerned up until the point that now they're saying that he's day-to-day. Then I'm a little bit more concerned.
Yeah. The one thing I want to say as well, I'm listening to the Legal Hands to the Face podcast today with Bill. And he brought on Dr. Chris Radcliffe, who actually has an expertise in this. And he said to him, it doesn't sound like it's that bad, is the start. It sounds like it's something with a ligament. It's a soft tissue, some kind of a sprain or strain. What he said it sounds like it is what's called the medial-collateral ligament. Basically, what that does, look at me, a little doctor shit, right? You like that, Matt? Dr.
Dude,
Dutch.
Dr. Mario, dude.
Oh,
Look at that,
I'll give
man.
you a sports medicine. Anyway, the point
That was
is,
the worst fucking impression you could have ever done. That was so bad.
sorry, man. I can't get the Italian voice, not a hair on my body.
Me, Mario.
All right. The point is, before we just keep whiffing on jokes as a whole, us Mount Aviat boys over here. Fuck. Now you got my ADHD. I was ADHD.
Ligament in his leg.
I was being a fucking doctor. God damn it. I sounded smart. It was going well. No, I'm kidding. It's called the medial collateral ligament. Essentially what it does is it holds like your knee in place so it doesn't stretch too far forward. I found this really interesting. So basically like Hurts's leg like stretched too forward right now. So like that shit's like shot. So basically what it is they're trying to slowly repair it back to this. And this is extremely important, Jack, with that dumbass look on your face, because we run the fucking push often. And if you know anything about squatting, you'll understand how important that is. So yeah, this could be bad. I don't think he's going to play this week, and I'll go ahead and call it now. And you can laugh if you want, but I do not think he's going to play this week.
I don't see a reason why he should. You know, like, we're playing the fucking Commanders, and they lost to the Giants. Or they barely beat, they lost to the Giants, right?
But they
gave us a perfect bridge into our next topic. I mean, say that again, Matt. Say that exactly the same exact way you just said that.
I don't think he should fucking play this weekend because we're playing the fucking Commanders.
Okay.
Bro.
Dude. Just let it be.
Dude. I know.
Nico, welcome to. I first want to introduce Nico, a good friend of mine. He's like the only Commanders or Redskins fan that exists on the face of the planet, I want to say. But hey, in all seriousness, all jokes aside, this man is the most passionate Commanders fan I know. So it's a pleasure to have you on the show. But what is your rebuttal to someone that says it's just the Commanders this week? And after last year, what happened at home?
You lost to Zach fucking Wilson. I don't give a fuck. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you guys can lose on any given Sunday. That's how I look at it. It's any given Sunday in the NFL. Especially if you lose to Zach Wilson. I mean, that's pretty fucking embarrassing. But I mean, and also ending your undefeated streak last year, that was also, fucking phenomenal. Also, just especially on, the Eagles' home turf, But here's my thing, dude. Commanders are fucking dog shit this year, man. I fucking hate Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera is a crackhead. The Jack Del Rio, he's selling drugs outside of his house. AJ Brown, you talked about some record or whatever. I already put $50 on 130 yards or more for AJ Brown because he's probably going to get that. Jalen Hurts on one leg is probably better than prime Joe Montana if they're playing the Commanders. I mean, they're just so dick, bro. And then you brought up Carson Wentz, and I wanted to chop my dick off because I had to remember that fucking freak. And then I have this fucking cowboy dude over here trying to talk about, we should bench Jalen Hurts because they're playing the Commanders. Well, last year Jalen Hurts played the Commanders and got his dick sucked by, Scott Turner and a bunch of nobodies. But, man, that's great.
Yeah. And
Nico, everybody.
Yeah, that's me. Hey, Doll, am I gonna get flagged for the racism on my head right now? I don't want to be racist.
Oh yeah, for the Commanders logo.
Yeah, I don't want to piss off the people that are watching because of my.
I don't know. Has TikTok ever flagged you when you wear that beanie on there?
Dude, I've already gotten fucking banned, bro. I don't really give a shit. I've already enjoyed the fact that I've gotten banned. I've embraced it. I've become a face.
Dead ass. I can't believe you're dead ass.
No, I got banned. Yeah, man. But I've turned out to be a really good Facebook superstar, man. I've just been posting on Facebook all day. Me and Mark Zuckerberg, we're gonna fuck it up next time, dude. Love Facebook, dude. Fuck TikTok. Who needs TikTok, bro?
All I gotta say is
a good matchup too. I mean,
I don't-
there's a lot for the Eagles to lose and not a lot for the Commanders to win. So
I know. I hope we lose. So Ron Rivera bitch ass gets fired. I'm praying to God. Like I hope it's like 65-0. Like that's how badly I hate that dude. But in all seriousness, I think it should be a good game. Usually when the Commanders play the Eagles, it's always a good game when Carson Wentz is not playing. I think the last game was really good for Sam Howell. He went up against, I think the Eagles sacked us the least against, and I really thought that Sam Howell played his best football against Philly this year, even though they lost. I think the only thing that held us back is, Emmanuel Forbes guarding AJ Brown, and, AJ Brown absolutely violated that man in every way, shape possible. But it's going to be a good matchup, though. I'm really excited for it. I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't excited, but also extremely petrified for that kid Sam Howell in his career.
Yeah, I mean, we almost lost to the Commanders week 4.
Yeah.
And that was when we were semi-healthy. And any NFC East game, Commanders, sometimes the Giants, it's always going to be a trench fight. Like, I'm not going to say it's going to be a cakewalk at all.
No.
We're still pretty injured. We don't really – yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. And if we play Marcus Mariota, I'm nervous about that.
Oh, no, it's okay. Marcus Mariota will cook too. It's okay. Never fear. Marcus Mariota is here. He'll cook too, along with anybody else.
This is true. And I don't want to how bad the Commanders are this year. I don't want to be like, oh, they gave us our second loss. Like, this is going to be a key game for us to win. And I'm kind of nervous. Like, it's not going to be a walk in the park at all by any means.
Yeah, I get that. So Mr. What Jack Dordan? That's your name, right? Dordan.
Hammer.
Oh no, I'm not Jack Dordan.
You're not. Who is that? What?
It's Matt.
It's Matt Friedkin. Yeah.
So Matt, listen, you mentioned that the Commanders are, you don't look at them as a threat because we lost to the Giants. I don't know if you read the script. It was because Tyrod Taylor was supposed to, perform phenomenal. The script I don't know if you read the script last week, but that's what was supposed to happen. In all seriousness, though, I mean, losing to the Giants, yeah, it's pretty bad. Like that's like some like jump off the bridge type environment. But I don't know, man. It's something that I think you should just be ready for what happens on Sunday, dude. Because I think I think that if there's a game that I am kind of confident in, it's this one.
See, no, I'm definitely prepared to face the consequences of my words, but I do think the Commanders are playing worse football than they were earlier in the season. Just over the past 2 weeks, I think that this is a game that if the Eagles were to lose, I would rather them lose with a backup quarterback than risking the health of Jalen Hurts. Because like Ashley said, we're about to get into a gauntlet. And if he does get hurt in a game against the Commanders where you guys are not going to win the division, you're not going to make the playoffs.
Oh, you don't know that. You do not know that. You do not know that. Who the fuck are you to say that if we're not going to make the fucking playoffs, buddy? I don't remember your name being Roger Goodell and you writing up all the scripts, buddy. I don't remember you having the commissioner's key saying that we're not going to make it. No. I see what you're saying, man.
I'm just like, I would rather him get injured in a game where we need to win rather than a game where it's like it's okay to lose. Like,
right. I will say. Oh, sorry to cut you off. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was just gonna say we're 6-1. I mean, like the likely. I'm not saying it's impossible that you guys catch up, win the division, and make the playoffs.
No, we're not catching. We're not winning shit, bro. You were
the
right.
likelihood that it happens. It's more just like I would rather just take our losses, hope Mariota gets a win, and keep Jalen Hurts healthy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I will say that I'm a little shocked, but I think Jalen Hurts is kind of getting the same treatment that a lot of these new paid quarterbacks are getting. Is that I'm seeing Jalen Hurts being really turnover heavy this year. I don't know what I think it's just the vendetta of, oh, I got paid $40 billion trillion. I'm gonna suck ass now for at least 1 year, and then I'm gonna pop off the year after. I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is going to be a turnover heavy team, but we went up against a team like the Falcons, who Desmond Ridder, rising star kind of quarterback. Desmond Ridder, not really a bad kind of quarterback, not in the Jalen Hurts level either. What really shocked me is that the Commanders were able to make him turn the ball over, and if we're able just to even apply just a little form of pressure to make Jalen Hurts have a turnover heavy kind of game, I'll be satisfied with a win on that kind of circumstance if they actually play like that. And I don't know, man. It's, dude, like this shit with the Commanders, dude. It's like watching like the fucking Modern Family, bro. Every week it's a different fucking bullshit that happens, and it's god awful, dude. I don't know. Like last time the Commanders were 6-1 was 1946 or whatever. I don't fucking know. I don't even know who the fucking quarterback in 1946 was. He's probably better than anybody we have right now. But I don't know, man. I fucking hate anything Philadelphia related. Dalton knows that. I hate Philly. I would take a shit on the 50-yard line of the Philadelphia Eagles logo if I had a chance to, bro. But I don't know. I do hope all is well though with Jalen Hurts. I do hope nothing bad happens to him though, because it sucks to see a good player like Jalen Hurts go down like that.
Wait, so do you hate the Cowboys more than the Eagles, or
I fucking hate the Eagles more than the Cowboys, bro. I legit cannot stand I can't stand the Eagles, bro. Like, oh my God, bro. Like, I'm not even trying to like bring it up, dude. But when the Phillies fucking lost yesterday, I had a moral victory in my gut.
Man, we really do live rent free in every other fan base's head.
Oh yeah, rent free and everybody fucking okay. You know what? When you put money on the fucking Phillies to just look good for 9 innings and then they just fuck you in the butt, yeah, dude. Yeah, you're gonna have have a little hatred towards them. Bryce Harper, man, 0 for what? 0 for 8 in game 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Fucking, that's sad. I feel bad for y'all, man. I'm really sorry.
So unnecessary, man. You didn't need to bring it up. We already talked about it.
Oh, dude, it's okay, bro. It's okay, bro. The Eagles are gonna get their free division title, bro. Their free division title.
It's okay. We're just gonna lose in the NFC Championship game this year.
Yeah, and then you have the Sixers. The Sixers are gonna blow it in the second round. I'm just thinking about
second round. Yes, game 7 specifically. Game 7.
No, I was reading the script. Sixers lose first round. I saw it, dude. I'm just saying.
Hold on.
Script one.
Is it at least game 7?
Oh fuck no! You guys lost in game 4. Like we're talking like Orlando Magic swept y'all. It's bad, bro. I read it. It's gonna be a really good script. It's gonna cook for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Nico, appreciate you coming on the show.
Of course.
Always love your enthusiasm and your comedy.
Yeah,
and let's see how this game goes.
Oh yeah, dude. Fuck Philly, bro.
Love that.
Thank you, Nico.
I guess that's actually a perfect bridge into
time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dordan, the mayor of Delaware.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tick Pick. Thank you for that sponsorship. Tonight's question we got for you tonight is: which Eagle quarterback threw for 464 yards in one game, setting a team record? Which Eagle quarterback threw for 464 yards in one game, setting a team record? A. Donovan McNabb. B. Sonny Jurgensen. C. Ron Jaworski. D. Randall Cunningham. We'll give you the answer at the end of the show. And do we have the leaderboard or not yet? It's not up to date.
Yeah, I don't have it this week. I'll do it next week.
I'm in a pickle. So I'm on TikTok live and I can't tab out on my phone. So how do you want me to do like sign language? Like I don't know what you want me to do here.
Just wait and then answer it right before Jack answers it. Or speak in a smoke signal like Jack is.
All right. Well, wait, you should know this then.
Yeah,
there's my answer, man. There's my answer. Just know it's going to be right.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I know we kind of touched on the Commanders preview. I just want to take a second to highlight as well. A.J. Brown does have a big opportunity this week. Man's already got 809 yards. He has an opportunity to go 6 consecutive games with 125-plus yards, breaking Calvin Johnson's record, which is tied right now. The thing I wanted to say about it is RG3 right now says that A.J. Brown should at least be in the MVP discussion. I think that that's a dumbass comment to say. Here's why. A.J. Brown isn't even the best receiver in the NFL. We all know the MVP is a QB's award. A.J. Brown, yes, he's got 800 yards right now, but guess what? Tyreek Hill has 802.
Wait.
Yeah. That's nuts. That's
No,
nuts, right?
I thought you were about to say like, yeah, Tyreek Hill has like 900 something. It's like
Yes,
AJ Brown has
802.
800 and Tyreek Hill has 802.
Yeah, not happy. So 7 touchdowns for fucking Tyreek Hill and 3 for AJ Brown, half the amount. So my point is, like, if you're going to be making these takes, RG3, I'm appreciative of it as a Philly fan. I'm about it. But you cannot say the same thing about Tyreek Hill, somebody who's been a playmaker all year. Yes, our boy Eli Rick shut him down last game. But I mean, pretty much every other game throughout the whole year, that guy's single-handedly been the MVP, in my opinion. Love that you're showing a wide receiver some love, but I mean, Tyreek Hill has been far better this year.
Dolt, so here's the thing.
He's saved my fantasy team.
Tyreek Hill, the defenses that they have played are really, really bad. The defenses that the Eagles have played are not really, really good, but they're also not really, really bad. We're playing better defenses than Tyreek Hill is, and AJ Brown's putting up the exact same numbers. We saw what Tyreek Hill is going to do against a good defense, and he doesn't do much. So that's my point.
And also, like, AJ Brown was not targeted, the first 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So, I mean, goes to show. I mean, like you said, it's a quarterback award, but I mean, I just we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
A good running back could win it now.
The touchdowns is what really scares me. 3 touchdowns in 7 games. You're not going to win the MVP.
That's not his fault though. That's play calling right there. You've seen what we've done in the red zone.
How the cookie's going to crumble. You know what I mean? It's like,
no matter what, no Philadelphia Eagles going to win any reward. So it's okay. We're aware of that. So
they're either going to give it to Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes, all because they got to fit in the Taylor Swift stuff into everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that, this guy is a Philly at heart. Great signing. It's kind of sad that.
Who are we talking about, Jack?
Kevin Byard. Kevin Byard.
Your mother.
New signing from the Titans. And it was kind of fucked up because Tyrell or whatever Edmonds, he was at the Phillies game. Yeah, he was at the Phillies game, and then he got cooked. And he said, "You're done. Get out." But this is a great signing. I'm not sure, did Kevin Byard play any snaps this year? I don't know. But
yeah, he's been playing
one thing that I know about him is this guy's a dog, because as you guys have seen the video, he had danced on the Cowboys logo when he had a pick. And that tells you, and he's from around Philly as well, that tells you that man is meant to be an Eagle. So I'm excited to see. That was a hole in our defense that we had. Blankenship, is injury prone, so it was nice to have somebody to fill in that role. Edmonds was getting burnt every time he was on the field, so it was nice that we like how he's a snake in the grass. He literally, like your boy Rocco, whatever his name is, on your shoulder. But yeah, no, this is a good signing, and we definitely needed this. Like we said, we signed Julio Jones, good pickup, but we needed a defense pickup, and this is kind of what filled the hole for us. So I'm excited to see what he can do for us.
Also, you brought up something, Jack. You said no. I think, what did you just say before the segment? No Philadelphia Eagles going to win MVP?
Yeah, or any award. Any award, really.
All right. So this is weird. This is another adult theory, and it's blowing up on TikTok. I don't know why. But we asked AI last week to make some images of what the Super Bowl parade would look like. And I didn't understand this photo about a week ago. I really didn't get it. I was like, what the fuck is this? Why? Who is 31? We don't have a 31. Is Jalen Mills going to come back to the team? I swear to Christ, if the Eagles go to the Super Bowl and if Kevin Byard ends up being the Super Bowl MVP, this is going to be really weird. You can go look at this. It was posted October 18th, 2023. But I mean, all in all, it's a great sign. 30 years old, 2-time Pro Bowl, and a 2-time All-Pro, 2017 and 2021. The dude also, I think the nice part for the Eagles about the signing is he has a lot of versatility. He can play free safety. He can play strong safety. He can play slot. The Eagles need that right now with the shape that their secondary's in. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken as well, they're also voiding the final 2 years of his contract. So I guess that means that the Eagles are not obliged or attached to this contract. So it's almost like a 1-year deal that's almost harmless. And the dude's from Philly, like Jack said. So he's going to play with that chip on his shoulder. At first, I was not too thrilled about this signing. And I can't lie, that was because I was an idiotic football fan and I just didn't do my research. When I sat down and I looked at this guy, he's just a good player stuck on a shitty team is the conclusion I've came to, and didn't get the attention that he deserved.
And we really traded nothing to get him. Like a 5th and 4th round pick and
that weren't even ours. They weren't even our picks.
So, like how he has, I don't know what, if he's smoking something different, but within the last, you would say 3 years, 3 or 4 years, how he's been playing a great role as the GM, making these pickups. Yeah, it's like, maybe we're just going to get Derrick Henry next year because it seems like we're just taking all these old Eagles players or old Titans players. We have Julio, we have A.J. Brown, now we have Kevin Byard. So, I mean, great pickup, great trade, trading for pennies to get a player that we needed on our defense. So, I'm excited for this guy to do.
I think this signing catapults our secondary from an area where we were kind of concerned going into the season because of lack of depth to now a secondary that is one of the most dangerous in the NFL. If Bradbury and Slay stay healthy, and we have now Blankenship and Byard in the backfield, like, oh my gosh, it's going to be great, and I'm excited to see how he fits into this team. I mean, he's from Philly. He was talking about how exciting it is to be able to play in front of his friends and family. I don't know. I think it's really cool, and I think Howie Roseman, he just keeps bringing all these Philly guys back to Philly, and I think that adds a really cool aspect to our team.
Yeah.
Plus, it's even more consequential than the Julio Jones signing, which will do nothing probably in the grand scheme of things. But this is something that's going to actually elevate us.
Yeah. This
I
is
just
going
had
to have
to
an impact right now that's going to be changing the trajectory of this team. That's 100% true, Tom. Like, this is a legit trade. Like, this is not like one of the trades where it's like, okay, this guy's going to come in and like play like a couple downs here. No, this guy should be on the field every down, like a legit starter.
Are you kidding me, Jessica? This is a girl that works at the bar with us, or not with us.
What the hell?
She's an Eagles fan. I think she's an Eagles fan. But Jess, are you kidding me? I'm sorry, Sarah. What the hell? Get out of here,
Sarah. No, I think that she is a Cowboys fan because her dad's a Cowboys fan. I remember she was telling us when we met her dad. But
time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dorden, the mayor of Delaware.
Thanks again, Tick Pick, for that sponsorship. The question we have for tonight was which Eagle quarterback threw for 464 yards in one game, setting a team record? Donovan McNabb, Sonny Jurgensen, Ron Jaworski, Randall Cunningham.
I'm going to say C. Ron Jaworski. That's going to be my answer.
Okay. So you're wrong.
It's A.
Yes, the answers we have.
I take the lead, Matt.
Fuck off, Tom.
Wait, what about me?
You lost last week.
I did lose last week.
Tom said
Tom might be tied though now because
I think Tom and I are tied.
No,
did Tom
Ash
take the 1 point lead and Matt took the 1 point lead with Tom, and now Tom has the 1 point lead over Matt.
Yes,
Ash is tied with Matt now.
Yes.
So Tom said Donovan McNabb, correct. Ash said Donovan McNabb, correct. Dalton said what's his face? Jaworski, wrong. No, he said C. He said C.
Yeah.
And Matt said C. Wrong.
Son of a bitch.
Ashley got it right. I didn't see anything in the chat in the comments.
Where's the popcorn?
Tom's one up over Matt, and I think Tom and Ash are tied right now. But yeah, we'll give you the updated scoreboard next show. But again, that's all I got. Anything else? Any last remarks you guys want to say before we get out of here?
I don't think so.
Yes. One last thing. I do want to say. Hold on, give me like 2 seconds.
The Halloween shirts are out, guys. Get your Halloween shirt.
Well, while he's doing this, guys, I just won my 3-leg parlay, $44 in the bank account.
Wait, I have one other thing to say. Jack is officially a Ravens fan.
Really? I think he should be, right? It's already been traded.
So you guys can go ahead and buy these now. The link is in the bio. Our new shirts, Philadelphia's Halloween. Shout out to Dustin. These came out awesome. I'll just block out the one on the bottom right now. We can look at it in like a week or so, just for pain purposes, not shame purposes. I want to be clear. But Philadelphia's Halloween. I mean, our mascots definitely look like, some of the fucking creatures that you would see on a Septibus. So go buy one. Halloween, everybody. We love doing this for you guys. I also want to just say this, I think, will be my last ever podcast in this studio. The next time you guys will see me, hopefully on the show next week, I won't be in shambles. I'm hoping to be in my new house. So I will be in like a new studio then. So I just want to say it's been real the past 2 years podcasting in this area for you guys. I have a lot of memories, good and bad. Unfortunately, no championships sitting in this corner. But hey, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe getting out of this corner will do us some good. Because, it hasn't been a good 2 years ending wise. But I just want to thank you guys all for the support so far. Everybody who's came through to the show tonight, everybody who listens to us week to week, everybody who, has helped me and Matt by downloading our new sponsor, Sharps, and downloading that app. We really appreciate that. If you guys haven't found out about that, please text me or Matt. We'll get you set up. It's an awesome new social network where you can brag with your friends about smashing parlays like Matt just did. But we really appreciate all you guys from the bottom of our heart. So that's all I want to say. Cop the shirt if you can, and I'll kick it to Jackson to do what he does.
Breaking news. The Eagles are coming out with another Christmas album. December 1st it drops.
Mm-hmm.
So Travis Kelce's on it this year with the Kelce boys. But without further ado, let's go Birds. Tom, fuck you. And without further ado, hey Josh, it's an outro, not an intro. Hit that motherfucking outro.
Happy Halloween, motherfuckers.
I miss Joshy Poo.
Why do the Phillies a fucking suck?
Matt Fredkin is a bitch.
Oh, that was a Italian.
Fuck you, Jack Jordan.